pretty light agenda. Don't have anything scheduled for workshop. Do you have anything you want to put down on a workshop? Brian?
Not off the top of my head, no.
All right. Any petitions for the mayor and council? See any? Next, I'll entertain the approval of the minutes.
I move that the minutes of the regular meeting held on February 20th, 2018 be approved as recorded and that a copy thereof be posted on the borough's website.
Second.
Councilman Nicolay?
Yes.
Sardardi?
Yes.
Councilman Osborne?
Yes.
Councilman Young?
Yes.
Thank you. Next are reports to council. Council President McGovern, please start.
I will start us off. Kind of long today. Even I might fall asleep before I get to the end of my report. But parade, a very successful parade on Sunday. The police and the DPW did a great job. Also a special shout out to Chip Cavanaugh, the parade director. It was a good day by everybody. We all know, we've heard on the radio, a storm is coming. If your power goes out, what you want to do is dial 1-888-LIGHTS, and there's 2 S's on lights. And that'll get you to the JCP&L storm headquarters, and just tell them that your lights are out. They'll probably ask you for your telephone number and your account number. Now, if you call, you should also have your neighbors call. The more people that call, the sooner they get to your location. So in other words, they prioritize where they're going to turn the power on first. The areas with the most power out, that's where they'll send the trucks after they've dealt with the safety issues of down power lines. So it's 1-888-LIGHTS, that's 2 S's on lights. Our DPW has been very proactive this winter, going around in the bucket truck and trimming and pruning priority limbs and branches from the trees, you know, for when a storm comes. And today, they spent a lot of time today on 13th Avenue. Is that correct, Mike?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so we're trying to get ahead of the game with those priority branches. But it was a rainy month. It rained last weekend. We're going to get another storm now, so the ground is saturated. So the ground around some of these big trees just may not be able to support even a healthy tree. So, you know, that could come down and take down a power line, or, you know, on your house, move your truck. Sometimes you have a move your truck tree. You know? So just be careful of the storm coming up and the trees around you. If you looked outside in the lobby, the Historical Society put a great display up, and it's a basketball display. And I want to bring attention to the Del Royals that they have out there. The Del Royals played in the 1960s, and it was established by a gentleman named Tom Hope. Fantastic, best recreation director you could ever have. And Belmar was very fortunate to have Tom. And
Second best.
no, he was best. There was an old saying, where there are children, there is hope. And I learned how to play basketball under Mr. Hope. Matter of fact, some of those people out there, they're in their 70s, and they still refer to Tom Hope as Mr. Hope. What a great man. I never heard him raise his voice, ever. Also, the Historical Society got good news. The Johnson, I forget the last name, won the bid to repair the Doughboy statue. So soon, they're going to take down the Doughboy statue over here at the park. The Doughboy statue is a soldier, and they're going to bring it to Trenton, and they're going to work on it, going to repair it correctly. And it's, you know, we have all the money all set up for it. It's going to be paid for, and it's going to be done right. So if you're driving by and you look to the side and you don't see a statue there, it didn't fall over in the storm. It's being repaired. Next, you know how I like to bring up the names of high school students from Belmar that do well athletically. And this past Sunday, I don't know the boy, but he lives on 13th Avenue. His name is Lucas Ravano, but he goes to Camden Catholic. He commutes from 13th Avenue to Camden Catholic. Well, he just won the state championship in the 132-pound weight class. His overall record this year is 39-4, and he won 4-3, but he was losing 3-2 with 18 seconds left to go in the match. He pulled a reversal, won 4-2. So congratulations to Lucas and his mom and dad, Dr. Caesar and Laura Rabano. Again, we have another student that's very good. And it's a big milestone in high school if you can score 1,000 points in basketball. And you know, I'd like to tell you that Dara Mabry was going to score her 1,000th point before the season ended last week. The #1 team in the state. But I can't tell you that because she scored her 2,000th point. 2,000 points in a high school career. There are 2 other students, athletes from Manasquan, who have scored 2,000 points in their career. Michaela Mabry and Marina Mabry. And now it's Dara Mabry. So that's a pretty good family. And now this last, I'd just like to thank Jim and Marlene Martirano for their gift of the arch over the playground on 8th Avenue and C Street. So that's my report.
Thank you. Councilman Walter.
Thank you, Mayor. I attended the PBA Valor Awards, and it was nice to see that 2 of our officers, Officer Eric Glebe and Officer Joseph Clayton, both received awards from the Valor Award ceremony for their work in life-saving efforts on a few calls. So it was good to see that our officers were getting recognized for the great work they do. I'd like to echo what Councilor McGovern said about the parade. DPW and the police did a great job, and I also like to echo him on Louis Fermano, who lives down on 13th Avenue, for the great job he did with the wrestling program over at Camden Catholic High School. That's our report.
Thank you. Councilwoman Nichols.
Yes, just a couple things. The book, the art show on books is still taking place over at the Arts Council. I went to the opening reception and it is really unique, really great. That runs through March 23rd. So glad to hear about the Doughboy statue. And again, there are always bricks for sale that you can put your name on them. They'll be there forever. And I always am just a big advocate for joining the Arts Council, joining a historical society, becoming members, and becoming more involved in those. The other thing is, a bunch of friends were talking about Mother's Day, and Father's Day comes up quickly, but a couple mothers said that a great gift would be a beach badge. So just kind of a neat thing to keep in mind if you're looking for some gift ideas. And as always, please shop local, especially during the cold, rainy winter months. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to keep my report very short. Not sure if people know, but our recreation director, Ray Claudio, has given his notice. He's going to be leaving March 16th. Will be his last day. He's done a remarkable job for us these last 5 years. I imagine we'll do something for him at our next council meeting. But I just want to let everyone know. There's an ad in the paper for a new rec director. But again, Ray has done a remarkable job these last few years. Also want to echo the sentiments of my members of the council as well, my fellow council members regarding the police department and Department of Public Works over the weekend, doing an outstanding job with the parade. So thank you. That's all for me. Short and sweet. Next is public session on the resolution calendar. Any comments? Raise your hand. We should be called out with the microphone. Take name and address for record on the resolution calendar. Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close the public session for the resolution calendar.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Next two resolutions, I'll turn over to Council President Jones.
Very good. Okay, I'd like to offer the resolution authorizing payment of bills. Can I have a second?
Second.
Councilwoman Nicolay?
Yes.
Councilman Oscar?
Yes.
Councilman McGovern?
Yes. Next, I offer the resolution awarding a lease agreement for the beach umbrella and chair rental concession at the Belmar Beach. Can I have a second?
Second?
Councilwoman Nicolay?
Yes.
Councilman Oscar?
Yes.
Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Thank you, Council President. Next is the consent agenda. I will offer the consent agenda.
Second?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes.
Councilor Osberg?
Yes.
Councilor Montgomery?
Yes.
Concludes resolutions. Next are ordinances. This is second reading, public hearing. Ordinance 2018-01, ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 19 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Belmar, Sections 19-46, handicap parking spaces. We're going to take public comment on this at this point. Any comments, questions? Please come to the microphone. Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2018-1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, I'll offer, move for adoption, ordinance 2018-01.
Second?
Councilor Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes.
Councilor Osberg?
Yes.
Councilor Montgomery?
Yes.
Next is second reading, public hearing, ordinance 2018-2, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 40 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Belmar, Sections 40-3.14, fees. This is open for public hearing. Any comments, questions, come to the microphone, name, address? All right, I will make a motion to close the public hearing for this ordinance 2018-02.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, I'll offer move for adoption, ordinance 2018-02.
Second.
Councilor Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes.
Councilor Osberg?
Yes.
Councilor Montgomery?
April, what fees are these?
These are fees for zoning applications. We actually amended the fees by resolution last year, and this is just cleaning up a section of the ordinance to reflect those changes.
But this does not increase any fees?
No,
Or decrease?
It's just what we've had for the past year,
right.
making it official. Yes.
Next is on for first reading and introduction. So I'll offer first reading introduction. Ordinance 2018-03, an ordinance of the Borough of Belmar, amending revised general ordinances, Chapter 23, garbage and waste, and Chapter 26, housing and property maintenance, to eliminate special Monday collections and accordingly modify certain special regulations applicable to summer rentals. So I'm offering for first reading.
I'll offer.
Councilor Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes.
Councilor Osberg?
Yes.
Councilor Montgomery?
Mike, can you explain this a little bit, the new trash pickup schedule, and how you think it'll benefit us this summer, make it better?
Yeah, it's going to hold everybody in town to the same pickup scheduling, things like that. Instead of landlords allowing their tenants to put out the trash for a special Monday pickup, depending on where they live, it'll either be their Monday pickup or Tuesday pickup. Recycling will always be on Wednesdays, as it is throughout town. And it also makes people pull the trash from the back of the yard, which has been a large problem where people, rental places, were leaving their trash in the backyard throughout the whole week. It would be attacked by seagulls, whomever, depending what the garbage was. The other neighbors would see it, smell it, and complain, and then DPW would have to go in the backyards and clean it up. So now it's going to hold everybody responsible, as anybody else. Take out your garbage when you're supposed to, pick it up on the days announced, and make it work that way so that everybody in Belmar is held equally accountable.
So if the people leave on Sunday and their trash pickup is on Tuesday,
Yes.
the landlord, not the tenants, are responsible for getting the trash out to the curb?
The landlord is ultimately responsible, I believe, through code enforcement. What he works out with his tenants is another thing. Or a child in the neighborhood, or somebody in the neighborhood to pull it out for him. Again, the ways to get it done are multiple. It's just going to take a little bit of work from the landlord and or the tenants to say that's got to go out. And I don't want to see anybody get citations from code enforcement, so hopefully this will, clear it up for everybody. And again, we put something on our website that we're looking to do this, so I want people just to go out, make sure it's clean for the neighborhood, make sure there's no more trash bottles. Even when you have the special pickups, you're supposed to be just putting out recycling and then separate trash. But a lot of times the trash is going out on a Saturday, it's staying there all day Sunday. You end up with broken furniture, broken other things, no bulk stickers, and you can't leave it there because then the neighbors have to see it, so we have to pick it up. There's nobody to contact. So this again is going to just take away all those multitude of problems and hold everybody accountable. If you're not accountable and you don't do it, same as if you are a resident or a landlord, you're going to be held accountable, and code enforcement will visit you, unfortunately.
If I could just add too, Mike had made a great point earlier that a lot of the rentals that are seasonal for the whole summer, that it's a group of people, there's usually one person that likes to take advantage of that full week because they're paying for it for the summer. So, you know, they're there on weekends, but maybe one person will take 1 week, another person will take another week. So we're hoping at least individuals that do stay there through the week will follow the schedule.
Correct. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, that concludes our ordinances. Moving fast. Next is public session. Very simple, raise your hand when you call on, come to the microphone, name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes to talk. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayor. Claire Hayner, corner of 18th and B. Just one comment on the trash pickup. I think it's a great idea. The only place that I think you're going to have a problem with is the recycling. Because I think you could probably attest that most of the trash that was put out on Monday, if you had 10 bags, 9 of them were bottles and cans. So hopefully it will all work out now.
Mike, would they still put out recycling in clean, clear bags?
That's what the ordinance reads and has read, but it does not always go out in that. And that's the problem, because then if the garbage, regular pickup on Tuesday can't tell the difference, they just leave, and then sometimes they leave trash. So again, it's supposed to be placed out and clear so that it is marked, it's supposed to be clearly labeled, or in a container that's clearly marked for recycling, so it goes into different places and can be literally recycled. So again, we will be keeping an eye on this, the best I can tell you, and you know, we'll see. If we have to make some adjustments, the nice thing about this whole thing this year is Delissa is our trash contractor, and they're also our recycling contractor. So again, we can talk to them, and we'll make things work, and between code enforcement and CPW, we do have good communication. So I will certainly keep an eye on that area, and I will try and make sure it gets squared away.
I'm one of the ones that drags it out on Tuesday night for rentals.
Oh.
So, I mean.
Well, and by the way, if you see anything, let us know
Please.
immediately. Don't let anything fester.
Has there been any update towards reversing the direction of Snyder?
You know, our chief of police is Quantico, Virginia, and he has not really had a chance to wrap his mind around what we're going to do with that. But I imagine that's what we're trending towards, because it makes more sense. When you look at how SURF, A, B are all lined up, it should change the direction to the one way that we discussed.
What direction is Snyder going right now?
Snyder is going south.
Snyder is going south. B is going
B is
south.
going south, A is going north, and SURF is going south. So you got 3 out of 4 going south.
So if you went every other one.
Yeah, I thought
Snyder
we
should
already
go
changed
north.
that, but no, we didn't.
No, I mean, we have to do it by ordinance, and it really has to come from the police department. So.
So then it'll be like A north, SURF south, Snyder north, B south. That's the way you want it to line up, right? And it's not that way right now.
Correct. Just Snyder is going north.
It makes more sense what you're saying.
Okay, thank you. And with the one-ways, has there been many tickets issued that you're aware of with the people going the wrong way on the streets? I mean, we see it all the time. We understand when there's parades and when there's, you know, races and stuff like that and everything, but on a general day, there's a lot. The whole idea of it was safety, so.
No, we're not issuing any tickets for people going, you're saying going the wrong way.
Coming down 18, going west, constantly.
Are you seeing it as a problem?
Well, it's constant. On 18th, at least. See it every day.
Oh, we can try to address it, proper sign action. Is there a do not enter sign there or no? That probably help, right?
And the stop signs, they in progress also? Stop signs for the.
They are in progress with the putting up the stop signs. The ordinances have to be changed and updated. We can't just put them up without doing that first. We'll have an issue with 16th Avenue because it is a county road, so we have to go that route with that. I do have one of our patrolmen, who's one of our traffic officers, taking care of that, getting the ordinance ready and updated.
The other thing that the police have done is they did assign a police officer to count the number of stop signs, the poles, and they also, what Captain Scott did not mention is where you're talking about the do not enter, they've already ordered a sign for that up there for do not enter. It came in last week. So as soon as we get permission to put it up, we will. But again, the stop signs will be ordered. It's not like we're not doing it, we're just waiting for, no, I'm telling you, they've already done everything they can do to put it in motion. We've got the stuff ordered. Some of it came in, so as soon as we get the go-ahead from the county or whomever, we will be knocking them up fairly quickly.
Okay. And who does the ordinances, like for Snyder? This has been talked about since October.
Yeah, it'll come through the police department and ultimately the, you know, the attorney writes it, the mayor and council will not.
Okay, great, thank you.
Sure.
Yep, if I can just interrupt, maybe, no, we didn't have anything for the workshop discussion, but we should talk about those two roundabouts on 10th Avenue. You know, D Street and B Street. I think we have to address if we want to keep them, improve them, take them out, whatever. So maybe for the next meeting, we can discuss that.
Yes, that's a good idea. I know in discussions with our superintendent of public works, he'd prefer not to have them.
It will take me 10 tons of blacktop and 10 tons of concrete, crushed concrete, and 1 day with a saw, and I will have them gone. So all you gotta do is tell me, go ahead, and they'll be gone. And I'll have 4-way stop signs there in 1 day.
Yeah.
I do not like them either.
I think it was a good idea when they were first proposed, but I think
I think it was a valid attempt to try and do something. It's not doing it. All it's doing is stopping the larger trucks, fire things, and apparatus, things like that. But it is also, people just go right through the whole center roundabout, taking down the bushes that we plant over and over and over again. So I would love to just get rid of them, put a 4-way stops, have everybody come to a complete stop there instead of a yield that you don't understand, and let's just do it the right way.
and if we can get that solved, maybe we can discuss 8th Avenue and D Street.
You and I are talking the same language right now.
Any other public comments for the council tonight? Yes, sir.
My name is Chris Leal. First, I want to apologize for the last meeting. I was kind of heated. I was upset. What I did was I took a step back and I extrapolated what's been transpiring in life. Okay? I'm not happy. I'm resigned to the fact. That's the way it is. I have a letter here. The subject was September 6, 1996. It was addressed to Chief Lynch. It pertains to an individual on the beach. My name is Eric Belmar. I'm 27 years old. Married and have 2 boys, 4 and 2 years old. And are expecting a new baby girl in January. We moved to Belmar from Trenton, the Trenton area, in June of 1996. On September 6, 1996, around 11 a.m., I took my family to Belmar Beach. There were no lifeguards on duty. And no one was in the ocean. I decided to go in. Within minutes, the riptide had taken me out. I found myself going further and further out to sea. I tried to swim back in, but only found myself going further out. My wife knew I was in trouble and ran for help. I honestly thought there was a chance that I was going to die. I prayed to God and thought about my family. Soon, Belmar lifeguards, Harry Hodson and Chris Leal, arrived on the beach. By that time, I was pretty far out, and it wasn't easy for them to reach me. They did reach me. And soon after that, the United States Coast Guard arrived and took us back to Shark Bay Inlet. If it wasn't for Harry Hodson and Chris Leal risking their own lives to save me, I wouldn't be here today. They saved my life that day, and I am eternally grateful. I wrote this letter to inform you of the courage and dedication displayed by these two men. These two men do their jobs very well. Maybe it's a good idea to have lifeguards on duty through the month of September, so the local Belmar people can still utilize the beach and ocean, okay? The last time I saw Eric Belmar was that day. I do this all the time. I see people, I help. That's what I was put here for. What if I wasn't here to stay? This was 9th Avenue Beach, okay, 9th Avenue, where everything happens on 9th Avenue. It's not me, it's all of us. And it's a shame. It's a shame. I'm resigned to the fact that I'm done. I'm going somewhere else. I'm okay with that. I'm a big man. I'll land on my feet. I'm very well trained. This is what I do for a living. I'm going to work tomorrow. If I get killed, oh well, as long as helping somebody. There's one other person in this room, Mickey McDonald, who knows what I go through when I go to work. Okay? On a side note, I called up Brian Dempsey, he's the board administrator of Spring Lake. And I said, Brian, I may make the jump over there. He said, Chris, let me ask you, how much did you make last year? I said, $10.65 an hour, or $15.65. He laughed at me. I said, Brian, why are you laughing? He said, my son's a second-year guard in Spring Lake and he makes that much already. I said, it took me 40 years to make that money, saving lives. To get back to this, I have the newspaper article from the Asbury Park Press dated September 6th, and a letter from Chief Lynch. Chris, you and Sergeant Harshen did a great job on this. As you can see, it was most appreciated. Came to the curb. I'm a big boy, I'll land on my feet. Thank you.
Any other public comments for the council? Yes, sir.
My name is Mickey McDonald. I was here 2 weeks ago. Like Chris, I guess I have a problem reconciling this. I am not a lifeguard here. Was never a lifeguard here, was a lifeguard supervisor in New York City. I explained 2 weeks ago. Some were paying attention, I could tell some were not. Spent a career in the New York City Fire Department as a firefighter, as an officer. Worked in the busiest places. So that's why Chris was giving a shout out there. I did. Been part of FEMA, New York's Task Force 1, very famous. Out of all the FEMA teams, you can do your research on it. That's what I've done. Starting with lifeguarding and then with saving lives. But I did share a personal story. I think it was 4 years ago, maybe 5. We had the Belmar surf tournament going on, big surf, and I explained to you. Actually, it was really due to somebody being in my way in a big wave, trying to avoid not really killing them as I was riding the face. But in turn, getting around them, I ended up in the sand, paralyzed, C3, C4. I explained, it wasn't just that I got lucky. I happened to be out about 150 yards because that's the way the beach was at low tide. I had to get out, back down through the trough, back out to where the waves were. When I finally got out of Jersey Shore and got up to hospital for special surgery, I saw one of the world's preeminent spinal surgeons. He told me, number one, I got real lucky, looked at all the imaging, did some more imaging, explained why and how I got lucky. But he said, and he had me describe it, and he said, you were perhaps even luckier in the fact that the people who handled you, because I explained, we were still taking massive waves on the head, I was out of it, I would say semi-coherent, couldn't move, couldn't do anything. I can enumerate all the guys that were involved because I can remember most of the names, but I'm here. And I also explained 2 weeks ago, my mother wasn't so lucky. It was at a beach, she perished. lifeguards didn't do a good job. It's more than that. 4 of my boys worked here, traveled from Monroe for many years to get here, back and forth every day. It was about the leadership here, the mentorship, and we all know as parents, you're looking for mentorship outside the family, that maybe your kids can get some other mentorship and get some direction that is maybe good direction from people. Did my research, been involved in swimming, was a collegiate swimmer, coached kids, so did my research. All roads led to Belmar. That's where they came. Happy, things worked out. Continued to have my other boys get here as they got older. Things worked out very well. I continue to send swimmers here. In spite of the fact that Chris addressed that everybody kind of knows that they can get more money elsewhere. Then I have to try to explain to the parents why their little bundles of joy are better off if they come here due to the training, due to the beach. And quite frankly, it is one of the preeminent beaches in the East here. But I guess what I wanted to get at is I can't reconcile my understanding of the way this played out. I read, news articles, NewJersey.com, and getting rid of lieutenants and captains. And last week we said we weren't. They just have to send an application in. Double flim-flams to me. I mean, I understand the English language. It just didn't sound good. So I'm here really to speak. They didn't ask me to come. Nobody asked me to come. My sons don't work anymore. They moved on. They've got their careers. But many of these people have actually given their adult lives to this. Many of them rely on it. Many of them have good families. They go home. Now, I'll be honest with you, many of them are embarrassed by some of the slanderous articles that I feel were written. And I can't really comport to how it all played out. And I asked last week, I said, why don't you just conclude and say, have a meaningful dialogue, at least with the management. I'm talking about you people in the panel, and Colleen, who's here, and I'm not sure who else is missing. And I know that there was some kind of meeting over the weekend. I understand the acting chief met with them and all, but I don't understand how we get to this point. We lose more people in this town due to structural fires than we do to drowning on duty. And I'm trying to figure out, how did we get here? It seems more like a personal vendetta. It's like I'm in the middle of a bad movie looking at some Oompa Loompa third world backwards ass town. I don't mean to insult you, but that's the way it plays out. And I just wish, and my wish here is that this, whatever it is, it really seems personal. Not lifeguard stands down, we addressed that last week. I just wish we could come to some resolve. It clearly wasn't handled right. And, people do, as I say, they do have families, they do have wives, they do have children. It's tough to take, all right? And that's kind of where I'm going with this. I just don't know, one more thing. I just don't know what the answer is on the dialogue, or how you comport with unwinding the fact that really it played out in a poor manner. But I'm here just humbly, really, because I do understand. And I understand busy firefighting, or standing outside a building till the building implodes. Whoever's in there either lives or they don't. I know it's like going down a 1,200-degree hallway. And some men make it, some men don't. This beach is kind of like the antithesis of real structural firefighting. Floor above, 2 floors of fire, making a penetration, dragging people out. Nobody would have a right even believing you could do these things. They keep the beach open when most beaches are closed. The kids are down there, we'll let you in with fins, we'll let you in with surfboards. They do what other beaches don't. I'm living testament to people. This isn't like, oh, I got a little Red Cross certificate where we're watching the little pool here. Serious business. And I'm here to say, I really think with the acting chief and the board here, there really should be a better way to sit down without just saying, we're moving in another direction like I read now. I don't even know what that means. What do you mean, we're moving in a different direction?
Right? Thank you for your comments, sir.
Okay? So thank you.
Any other public comment? Yes, sir.
Harry Marshall from Wall Township. Well, going through everything we went through last week, and then 2 weeks ago at the last meeting. I still have some unanswered questions as to the whole reasoning for all this. We did meet last week, and you had said the reason for this whole thing was because you took a walk down the beach and you noticed some stands down. And was that an emergent matter? When you noticed the stands were down, or was that?
I already told you, I brought it up to the chief and let him handle it.
Right, but did you feel it was an emergent matter?
I brought it up to the chief, so yeah.
Okay. Well, did you get to the chief that day when you called him? Did you speak with him?
I think I spoke to him later that day or texted him, I forget.
So it must not have been too emergent, or you could have come to any one of the lifeguard captains on the beaches, or you could have went to Ray, Corinne, and told them, hey, there's an emergent matter, there's some stands down. So it wasn't that emergent, I assume. So we had a meeting with the chief this past Saturday, and I asked him about that. And he didn't know anything about it. You know anything about it? Why is it?
I don't know yet, ask him.
I did ask him directly. And this is what you said.
Yep.
It was in the paper.
Yep.
And I asked him about it. He had no idea. He didn't know anything about it. Why is that?
I don't know, you have to ask him.
I did ask him. So we won't beat that to a dead horse. No, Belmar lifeguards have been in effect for over 85 years. They're a proud group, traditional, a lot of tradition down there. And this one article, of all the articles I've seen on this matter, is the most troublesome to me. And it says, Belmar's top cop calls for lifeguard shakeup after last year's record drowning. So I asked the top cop, Ivan, about that. Do you know anything about it? This is embarrassing and humiliating to everyone here.
What newspaper is that, Art?
CBS News, CBS New York News. You didn't know anything about it. The person that spewed this blatant lie and rhetoric should be reprimanded. And
The person who put that out was the reporter themselves. What they did was they combined two things to make it more salacious, that's all.
however it did, who benefits from that?
No one.
No one, right? The lifeguards are embarrassed and humiliated. The townspeople are up in arms about this whole thing. The families that come from out of town, that now want to come to Belmar with their children, they're going to say, oh, there's drownings in Belmar, the stands are down, they're unattended, and we take that personal. Because everybody down there does a damn good job, and they take it very seriously. So instead of being ostracized for having to stand down, and you didn't really even investigate as to why that was, you know, you should have been a little bit more appreciative and thankful for them for working their butts off with little staffing and little pay. They show up every day and do it. They work 6, 7 days a week to make up for it. They work in all weather conditions, heat, rain, wind, whatever your ad says is what they do. And 99% of the times they do it with a smile. They like the job. So instead of getting rid of everybody and starting all this negative publicity for no reason, maybe a thank you would be in order for the job well done for these people that work that beach every day. I'm coming up on 40 years on the beach. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And every one of these guys and women could go
Why do you
get
want to stop
jobs.
you there?
Could go get.
Because you know that at the beginning of the season, on the Friday of Memorial Day, there's a meeting in this room, and you're in the back, and I thank all the lifeguards.
Correct.
You know that. I've done that for the last 7 years. This will be year number 8 coming up. So don't say you don't get that. That's not accurate. You know that's not accurate.
I'm talking about at the end of the season. Instead of being ostracized for having a stand down or attending, we should be thankful, you know, for doing a job well done with little or next to nothing, as far as resources and manpower and pay. That's what I'm saying. Instead of being criticized for having a stand down and you don't really know why it's down. And let me tell you something, just because the stand is down doesn't mean the beach is unattended. You know, you can watch 9th Avenue from the 10th Avenue stand. It's just not up because there's not enough manpower. And believe me, I said this on Saturday. Back in the day, there was 50 guys trying out for 5 jobs. It was competitive as hell. It was hard to be a Belmar guard, okay? This year, we could have hired 25 people. 15 took the test. 5 didn't even pass it, and 2 dropped out of rookie camp. We would love to have more people. We would. Who wouldn't? But we do we do what we have to do with what we have. And that's what we do. We make steak out of hamburger. We make the town look good. But a blatant, one little miscalculation like that, for everyone to see, is hurtful and embarrassing and humiliating to everyone here that works the butt off. So I'm hoping that we can get this resolved some way, shape, or form. Brian? Yes.
Yeah, but let's understand that we did not put out that article. The reporter wrote it.
Someone spoke to this reporter.
Okay. You know how many times a reporter speaks to us and they misstate the article? I'll read an article and say, that's not what I said, that's not what I
have
meant.
tons of articles, but this was the most disturbing one.
It is disturbing,
It is disturbing.
and you're right, that person should be
It didn't benefit
at
anybody.
fault. But, I mean, she made the lifeguards look bad, she made the town look bad.
Right.
And
If I was a parent, I wouldn't want to come to Belmar now. And you were a lifeguard, we worked together back in the 70s, it's different.
Yep.
It's different.
Thank you.
My time's up? Thank you. Thank you.
Just one little thing, it's not nowhere near as important as that,
Come on up to the microphone.
except,
I say
the whole-
that, before you start, you gotta say your name and address, just for the record.
Tim
Sorry.
O'Donnell, 317 Seminole Lane, Brick, New Jersey.
Thank you, sir.
It's just one little thing, but this is, apparently, it started with 4 letters, okay? Certified letters going out to 4 people, and in essence, giving you an indication that you will not be back, okay? So, I asked you several times, would I be coming back? Why did I get the letter? And you said, oh, I have to go to the safety director on that. And I'm for the chief, and whatever the chief says, that goes, correct? Basically.
Not verbatim, but
Okay, so I talked to Drew, and I have to give Drew a lot of credit. He apologized for the way I was handled with my 57 years not even meaning diddly squat, but that doesn't bother me. But what bothered me was, I said, Drew, why did I get this letter? Now here's your efficiency. You know what his response was? What letter? What letter? I said, well, I got the certified letter. He says, I didn't send it. I said, well, who sent it? I don't know. It's only 4 letters. I know who I think. I think it was the business administrator, but she denied it. So who sent them out? Now, that's a simple question. 4 letters. He doesn't know anything about it. And he's in charge of it. So it's either you or the other 2 people.
it was, you had Drew's signature on it, correct?
Yeah, he had all 70 of the things that went out. But on the certified,
I believe the attorneys, and that's why the language is very lawyer-like. I believe the attorneys wrote the letters, and then they went out under his name.
to the 4 people.
To
Then how can you not know about it?
To everybody.
No, I'm talking about the 4 certified, not the ones that come out every year. Similar to every year.
I'll
He didn't answer it.
talk to him and find out why.
He already told me he doesn't know.
I'll find out why he doesn't know. He should have known.
Simple question. It is unbelievable.
Any other public comments, questions for us? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close the public, oh, yes.
Jim Denino, Wall Township. You said they have the opportunity to come back, yet they did not receive phone calls for the Saturday meeting. Brian, you have Corinne's phone number, I know that. Why weren't they called? I talked to Ray that morning, I even talked to him to tell him what the meeting was. They were not called, even though Colleen said they were. I'm sure there's a record too that we can find out.
We'll find out, but I believe everyone was called.
Do we need their phone numbers so they're notified for all these?
I'll find out, but it was my understanding that everyone was called. I told Colleen, and I know the folks in the office, to make sure that everyone was called and had an opportunity.
Bathrooms are extremely clean. If there was a problem with the bathrooms, would we be firing the head of that department?
I don't understand the question. Bathrooms are
If
extremely.
the bathrooms down at the boardwalk had a complaint about them being dirty, would we be firing those bosses?
The complaint was valid, we thought it was nothing to do with
But
it.
they explained to you why the stands were down, there's no staff.
I understand what you're saying.
And the answer, they're not getting, they wouldn't get candy, the lifeguards with 100%.
They may not be reappointed for 2018. If they had a problem keeping those bathrooms clean during the summer of 2017, when they put their application back in, we'll review it and will not reappoint those bathrooms.
Again, the bathrooms were in great shape, I don't have any problems.
So this is a hypothetical, you're saying?
Hypothetical question.
Hypothetical situation. If they didn't do a good job in 2017, then they probably would not be appointed for 2018.
Right. And that's why, I mean, I understand, I mean, I get it, guys. But it's real simple. If you think you did a good job last year, and you reapply, the business administrator, chief of police, Brian are gonna look through applications.
Correct.
And they're gonna choose good people to be up on the beach. It's not all that complicated. I get what you're trying to do. It's not all that complicated. It's really not.
One more thing, sorry. The screening.
Sorry, just one more time. I know you're.
No, Jim, hold on.
I just gotta tell them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, okay, we got rid of the four bad people, and now we're going to.
That's not true. No, they are putting in a letter that they want to come back and they will be reviewed to see if they're going to be reappointed. You can't fire a seasonal employee right now. You're not a lifeguard right now. You
Oh, I
off-season.
understand
You can
that.
say,
I
okay?
understand that concept.
So if it was during July or August, we could fire a lifeguard. But now here it is, it's March. There are no lifeguards in Belmar right now.
Okay, that's a good point. So now we have a committee that's going to select the best lifeguards. Who's on the committee? This woman here who's what is
Business administrator.
Okay, she knows nothing about open water lifeguarding. Okay, then we go to the next person. He stood up and, once again, I gotta commend him. He said, Tim, I've never lifeguarded. I don't know anything about lifeguarding. Okay, so that's the second person that's going to be picking it. And then we have Mr. McGovern, who was a good guard, but that was 50 years ago. And everything has changed. So that's the committee. Two that know nothing about it, and one that can maybe remember something about it. And they're going to pick the best of the best.
But that's not how we're going to do it.
Work.
We're going to go through the applications. We have
Yes.
applications in a folder right now. Check their resume.
Mm-hmm.
We can certainly, over the years, check out who has a good resume. Having worked in Belmar, I'm sure, is a bonus.
How many of the lifeguards do you know?
No. Once we choose the management, then we will sit down with the management and go over the lifeguard rank and file applications. All right, what about this person? What about that person? What about that person?
Wouldn't it have been easier if you used the supervisors that were in place? Because they're the only ones that truly know the guards. And I'm the only one that knows how they train. But instead, you're going to count on someone that knows nothing, no offense. The other one knows nothing. And you.
Well, that's not how you're necessarily going to
That's what it said in the letter.
Well, to tell you the truth, you reappoint the management first, then those people will say, okay, this is going to be a good captain, this is going to be a good captain, this guy's better as lieutenant. Now you get those people in, okay, look at these, what about this guy, what about that guy? Yeah, they're good lifeguards, let's bring them back. Now how many positions do we need? Okay, we need 10 new lifeguards. Let's set the test date, see how they do on the test date. I mean, you know how it works. We
Mr.
can do this.
Walsifer under the bus, he was the only one that made an intelligent point on it at the meeting. He said, shouldn't you have those people in position, ready to go before you send out all these letters? And you threw them under the bus. You said, why didn't you do that before?
But they have to reapply because they're not management right now, because they're not lifeguards in the off-season.
She didn't even know who was management. She's telling me I'm management.
Well, looking at the applications inside the folders, it describes where they worked, how long they worked, what their rank was. And there are several beach captains, supervisors from Belmar themselves that have applied for this position.
I know him say she didn't even know what management was.
Tim,
There's
she knows-
two.
stop.
There's two.
No, listen. She knows what
And you
management
got rid
is.
of both of them.
She knows what management is. You are labeled management. You can fight us all day and say you're not. I'm not gonna argue.
The only, all right, you tell me, salaries. You have 2 salaried administrators. That's it. Everyone else works on the clock. As I did when I started for $1.10 up to my whopping 15. We know in 57 years, I never even spoke with anybody about anything on management. Never. So how did I get put in management?
Did you have a title?
Yeah, training officer. I train the guards, and another thing is I'm in the jet ski rescue team.
Tim, we're not gonna argue with it. That's
No, I'm
considered
not arguing. I'm
management.
just showing you an example of incompetence.
Not incompetence. Thank you. Yes.
My name is Anna Lamb. I live in Belmar on Ocean Avenue. I'm going to get a lot of trouble for doing this because I just really want me to say anything. Sorry. But
Don't worry about it.
I'm just going back to my concern is business. I love these guys on the beachfront, and until 2 weeks ago, I really didn't know what they were dealing with. I really didn't know on a day-to-day what they're actually doing, okay? In my naive way, I look at it as a bunch of kids having a great time in their summertime and working on the beachfront, okay? And often I would see the leaders and I would say they're just a bunch of big kids, you know, because that's what I thought it was. I didn't realize they got up every day. And as a daunting task of watching people go into the water and watching the water, and at most of their young age, taking on that responsibility of life. That fell on me pretty heavy. Didn't know that. Didn't really take that into consideration. And I think what's going on is via the perceived lack of respect in the way that the shift in management is going to go, I think that's where they're coming from. And it's painful to watch. So now we have the bad press. And we have the bad press. Forever, who says what, denies it, says it, owns it, doesn't, whatever, it's bad. So now on a business aspect, I have to say, because I'm part of the business here, what are you guys going to do to make this bad press go away and make people feel safe to come into this town and give us money for our community, give us money for the small businesses that are here? How are we going to fix it? Because it's obvious that nothing is going to get done on the fixing of being felt like you weren't appreciated. If it were me and I got a letter, I wouldn't want to reapply because that's kind of disrespectful. So we all know that that was handled incorrectly. Will anybody ever apologize? No, and that's okay. You just keep moving forward. So how will we fix the bad publicity? How will we get those people? And there are people out there saying they're not going to be coming here because the town isn't safe for their kids to be playing on the beach in the water. How is Belmar going to fix it? Do we have something in place?
Sure. I mean, I would tell you, if someone who actually is individually telling you that, you can have them call me. I'll explain it to them. We're going to have a fully staffed up lifeguard contingent this coming summer.
I think that sounds a little bit more predictive than actuality. I do. But let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope that people want to come back, you know, the lifeguards that have training, and it's very good training, they will want to come back. I hope that they do. I still think, you know how negative gets more attention than positive? I want to know how we're going to keep these people coming back, because this is negative. There's not been a positive spin on it at all, coming from anywhere. I'm just hoping that you'll take that into consideration, because it wasn't just the issue with the lifeguards. Now, people don't want to come to Belmar, to the beach at least. Okay, they might want to come to Belmar for the bars, but they may not want to come to the beach. And that's revenue for the town, and that's revenue for the private businesses, the small businesses. I just want you to take that into consideration. And one more thing, if I may. Guys, I love you, and I thank you so much. I really didn't know how much you did. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Any comments, questions? Yes, sir.
Christina Wall, Township. And I appreciate what you said, but I disagree with one thing. I think there should be an apology on the way this was handled publicly. Publicly went to the press and said, their lifeguards stand for down. That's why 4 supervisors got fired. So why can't you publicly go and apologize for the way this was handled?
Well, I think someone mentioned before, the chief in a meeting over the weekend apologized for.
I mean, publicly to the papers. Like, you went to the papers and there was Channel 2 News, Colin was on it, talking about, lifeguard stands being down. That was there. And I actually called.
Well, and also,
I called Channel 2
It wasn't
News.
just lifeguard stands down, I also mentioned lifeguard stands that were up that were not attended.
Okay, but I had to call Channel 2 News and talk to a reporter about that news line. And I told them it was more like fake news because it wasn't true.
You're right.
And they changed it. And I also had to call Channel 12 News to report that because someone reported that the pay was going from $8.50 to $10. And that was false.
Right.
Because it was $10.15 for rookies. And Colleen was supposed to go and report that. That never happened.
She was not supposed to go with the
Well, she said she would take care of that. She told Corinne she would take care of that in last meeting.
She did.
She didn't, I know. So that's why I'm wondering.
No,
She
no,
said,
wait, listen, don't get me up. She did say that. I don't know if anyone brought that up afterwards. The News 12, all these newscasts will take information from other newscasts. If someone contacted her and said, hey, what's the starting salary, she would have corrected that. So don't say she wouldn't.
people come and say, "But why don't we take a proactive approach and proactively, if you want to get businesses back, let's proactively say, hey, that was a mistake. It was $10,000 an hour.
No, and she can do that with the reporter who already wrote the story.
What I'm saying, it didn't happen.
She did, but they already wrote the story. If someone takes this information from one story and puts it into another, there's nothing we can do about it.
It's a retraction.
They don't, it's up to them to issue it. We can't force them to issue a retraction.
Okay, and how about like a public apology for the way this was handled? Because I went back and did the calculations. February 6th was the initial meeting where you made a resolution, correct?
Yes.
February 7th, the letters went out. So sometime before February 6th was a decision to be made about the 4 supervisors not coming back, correct?
No. They had to reapply. In other words, they were supervisors in 2017. In order to be a supervisor in 2018, they had to write a letter to be reappointed. No one got fired. You can't fire a seasonal worker in the off-season. Am I correct, Greg?
That's correct. So they're not going to be fired.
So it's you're talking about semantics. You're arguing semantics. No one got fired.
So then why was there a newspaper article saying that we're getting new management? The old management's leaving, we're getting new management. Just curious.
I don't know where they got new management. It's a change of style because our labor attorney says we have to go bring up our standards and have them reapply so they can be reappointed. No one got fired.
But the resolution.
You just don't.
Was what?
This is just new to the Belmar lifeguards, maybe other towns, to be doing it this way. It's just a new way of doing it. No one got fired.
And the resolution was passed to be transparent and above board with what we're doing. That's why that was done that way. Could we have not done it that way? Absolutely. But we thought it was important to be above board and transparent.
So no apology is needed to apologize to the way lifeguards were treated, disrespected, you know, because.
Well, I disagree that they were disrespected. I disagree they were treated poorly. I disagree with the premise of your question. So no, I'm not going to apologize for something I disagree with.
Premises, people calling and say, what is going on down there? Lifeguard down there, lifeguard stands down, people are dying, because that's what the article says.
Right. I never said that. I'm not going to apologize. You want me to apologize for a news article that ain't right?
Well, you said lifeguard stands are down.
Just tell me, you want to get to a point here, right? Just tell me, what is your point?
Well, there should be something from you. I mean, when the newspaper comes out, we're going in a new direction, we're getting new management, lifeguard stands down unattended. We found out later, and Drew had no idea about this going on, because he was asked in the meeting. And now there's nothing coming back and saying, you know what, I want to, listen, you call the news, I'm sure they'll make a report about something, no? You want to say, listen, I want to talk, talk about the issue of lifeguards?
And tell them.
And tell them, you know what, we didn't handle this quite right, and maybe, you know, I'd like to apologize. And there were no drownings during hours, ever.
I never said there were drownings.
I'm not saying you did, but to me, I'm not saying you did, but the newspaper's out there, the article's out there. So what do you want to try to rectify that and try to change that?
Well, I would tell you, if there's a bad story like that, you think it's a bad story, you don't continue it. You put it behind you and you move forward.
No. You print a retraction, you have to impose
You
it.
can't yell. You can't yell from the audience.
Well, I would say, like I said,
Someone's up here speaking.
I would say.
You got up here and you spoke for 7 minutes. Someone else is speaking. Don't be disrespectful.
All I'm saying is that I'd like a retraction, something, I had to call the papers, I had to call the news, because didn't look good, and it doesn't look good for the town of Belmar itself.
Okay, if you want a retraction, then you should contact them and ask for retraction. That's what you should do.
I understand.
If you want me to apologize, I'm telling you, I disagree with the premise of your, of
The way this was handled was terrible.
Listen, I think by being transparent and above board was the right way to do it. I think by sending letters out to folks was what our attorney said to do, so that's what we did. I think Drew holding a special meeting this past Saturday was the right thing to do. I think listening to the comments from you guys and women is the right thing to do. So no, I don't agree with you. I disagree
Well, I
with you.
think in the last meeting, you kind of agreed that waiting until February to tell people that they're not coming back, you agreed wasn't the correct way to be handled, right?
Whether it was January, February, December, I think whether it was any of those months, we'd still be having this conversation today.
Right, and I'll totally agree. Listen, sometimes if you want to make change, but it's the way you handle it. And the way this was handled was not correct. And you can see by the outcry. If you went up to the four people, spoke to them beforehand, said, listen, we have this problem, this problem, this problem, we're going in a new direction. You might not understand me, but this is what we're going to do. And you did that to the four of them. You know what? You would have got a different response. Because you know what? Then they could come to the lifeguards, the general lifeguards, and say, hey, listen, they're going in a new direction, this is why, and try to talk to us. Because now there's a lot of lifeguards who are looking at other places, and you are going to have 16, 17-year-old lifeguards filling the stands, if you can fill the stands. And that's unfortunate, because Belmar is a great tradition.
I'm going to stop on that one. You know, the idea that we're going to try to scare people, I'm not going to.
I'm not saying scare.
No, that's what you're trying to do.
No, you heard it.
No, that's what you're trying to do, saying there's going to be 16, 17-year-old untrained lifeguards, if we can get them. That's an effort to try to scare people. You agree with me or not?
No, I'm being not realistic, because what I'm telling you is, because like
I
Harry
disagree
said,
with that
we couldn't get lifeguards the last couple of years. We can't get them.
Well,
And to lose.
I believe we'll be able to get them this year.
I hope so. I hope so, because it would be a shame. So, thank you.
I'm confident we'll get them again this year.
Excellent. Thank you.
Just very briefly enough, already up for my 5 minutes. Name here, but Brian, this is an ad issued in the newspaper, Help Wanted, and it says Belmar is looking for lifeguard directors and supervisors. Well, why are you looking for them if they weren't fired?
To hire them. No one was fired.
Well, why are you looking for new ones? Why do you have a Help Wanted sign in the newspaper that says you're looking for them if they're not fired?
We're taking applications for those positions. That's absolutely right. You can apply if you'd like to. I believe you already have. Have you already
I have,
applied?
I have.
All right, you've already applied.
I did, but it's.
So you're already gone through the process.
Right.
I would tell you this is not a good venue to try to argue for a job.
I'm not trying to argue for a
You
job.
want to talk to, you want to talk, you
I'm
want to
not
talk to.
arguing for a job, I'm just
you wanna talk
saying
to-
that we're not fired. Well, if you're looking for somebody, it's semantics. If they're not
No,
fired,
it's not semantics, it's
if they're not fired, why are you looking for somebody to replace them?
practical truth.
But if they're not fired, why are
Every
you
year we're
replace
looking for
them?
someone, every year we're looking for people in those positions.
Every year, I've
Where
never,
we-
I've never seen this before in
Well, we're
40
being
years.
more open, transparent about it.
Howard Rowland never went through this.
He may not have, and I don't know.
You know,
It's
so I don't
not fair in
understand.
time when, how
I
we
don't
don't.
understand.
I understand, you're saying you don't understand. You already applied for the position.
I did. And I'd like to give one quick analogy as far as, maybe you can relate to this a little better about stands being down and unattended. As you know, I was a sergeant in the police department for 27 years. Prior to taking over Lake Como, the squad was always a sergeant and 2 patrolmen. Okay? If a patrolman called out sick or took a day off, the town was covered with 2. So the town was covered. Okay? The 3rd police car that one patrolman took off in was going to sit down in the lot. But the coverage was there with the 2 guys. All right? Just like the stand being down. Just because the stand was down doesn't mean it's not being covered. If a stand is up, there's a multitude of reasons why a stand could be up and the lifeguards aren't on it. They could be in the water making a rescue, they could be administering first aid, they'd be helping a mother look loose for the lost kid. But we have radios, so we call each other, 9 to 10. I got a lost little kid, the mother here, I'm gonna get off my stand and help find the kid, cover my water. It's like a well-oiled machine. I just want you to know that. Just because the stand is down or not attended at the moment you happen to walk by it, doesn't mean the water's not covered. Thank you.
Any other public comments, questions for us? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close the public portion and adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
Aye.
I gotta reinforce.